Hello guys, and today we are going to learn hardware and its components, motherboard. So let me head to my PPT and so what do you think is a motherboard? Let us see. A motherboard is the main printed circuit board in general purpose computers and other expandable systems. It holds and allows communication between many of the crucial electronic components of a system, such as the central processing unit and memory, and provides connectors for other peripherals. So, in short, motherboard is the mother of the system, main circuit board of the system, where the whole computer works. The chips are there, the heat sink is there. We will learn it in ahead. We'll learn it ahead. So, but just understand for now, motherboard is the main circuit board of the computer. Let us move ahead. This is a picture for y'all. Types of motherboard: standard ATX, micro ATX, mini ATX, nano ATX, pico ATX, integrated, non-integrated, desktop motherboard, laptop motherboard, and server motherboard. I have given a small picture for y'all: standard ATX, micro ATX, mini ATX, nano ATX, pico ATX. It's going on becoming smaller, and obviously the quality also is increasing, but the size is becoming small. ATX is a motherboard and power supply configuration specification developed by Intel in 1995 to improve on previous de facto standards like the AT design. ATX is just a type of motherboard. It's just a type of motherboard. What is the design of it? How is it? That is, like, it comes under ATX. Means, if you all see, standard ATX, micro ATX, mini ATX, nano pico ATX, nano ITX, it's ITX, mini and nano is ITX, so we will not count on that. Micro ATX and standard ATX, pico ATX. So these all are 1, 2 and 3. These all are 1, 2 and these are all ITX, but here I have written as 3 ATX. So what is that? I have done a slide on this. So it is developed in 1995 by Intel. Intel is now a processor manufacturing company. We will learn ahead. ITX is a 17 by 17 centimeter motherboard form factor developed by VIA Technologies in 2001. They are commonly used in small configured computer systems. So ITX is mainly developed by VIA Technologies. It's a company, and it's developed in 2001 in size 17 into 17 centimeters. For small, like the PCs which have like small configuration, like 4 GB RAM, 2 GB RAM, 1 GB RAM, these ITX is for them. Okay, so it's the size is 17 by 17 centimeters. Let us move ahead. Desktop motherboard are used in personal or desktop computer, as it is used for application at home and in office. This type of motherboard is of most basic type. So basically, desktop motherboard is of most basic type, as it is written over here. The parts are basic, the quality is basic. It's all basic in the desktop motherboard. It's the basic motherboard. Let us move forward. Laptop motherboard is used to connect different parts of a laptop system. These motherboards generally have very advanced features as compared to the desktop motherboard, and most of the functions have been integrated into the laptop motherboard. Means most of the features have come in the laptop motherboard. compared to the desktop motherboard, and they are comparatively advanced than the desktop motherboard. Okay, let us move ahead. Server motherboard are the most advanced than desktop motherboard and are designed to offer high-end service which are more reliable and ready to operate in 24/7 environments. See, server motherboard is very high-end. It's like the best motherboard in desktop and laptop. It's better to them, much more reliable. Means these two motherboards are also reliable, but this is little more high end and duration is more of this motherboard, I would say. And they are programmed to work in 24/7 environments. Okay, let us move ahead. Integrated motherboard. The integrated motherboard is a motherboard where all the components are closely connected and attached. The term integrated itself means to join or attach something. Therefore, the integrated motherboard is all united and joined together. The integrated motherboard is manufactured to save space which is provided. Means integrated motherboards are basically very compact motherboards. All parts have been like fixed very nearly. Like I talk about heatsink. In heatsink there are many parts besides that. Okay, so they are very closely connected together. So integrated motherboard is this way. Non-integrated motherboard. A non-integrated system board uses installable components and expansion cards. For example, a non-integrated system board may allow you to upgrade the video card by removing the old one and installing a new one. Non-integrated motherboards typically have several PCI expansion slots as well. Means it's very interesting. Now, non-integrated motherboard is what? For example, we have our video card. We want to upgrade. Our video card has become old. So in integrated motherboard, we will have to if we remove the video card there, the parts of the motherboard we have a very high chance of damaging the parts. But in non-integrated motherboard, as the parts have been not packed so closely, you can upgrade it by not damaging other parts. And in non-integrated motherboards, we have PCI expansion slots. In integrated we don't have. In non-integrated we have PCI expansion slots. Let us move ahead. Parts of motherboard: ATX Power Connector, RAM slots, CMOS Battery, Backplate Connectors, heatsink, BIOS chip, chipset, expansion slots, and FDD header. I have given a small picture over here which describe these all parts, which shows you all the parts in the motherboard. We will learn every part's function. ATX Power Connector. An ATX power supply provides a number of peripheral power connectors, and in modern systems, 2 connectors for the motherboard, an 8-pin or 4+4 pin auxiliary connector providing additional power to the CPU, a main 24-pin power supply connector, an extension of the original 20-pin version. Means in this motherboard we have 2 main connectors, 8-pin connector and 24-pin connector, which is it's the extension of 20-pin original version. Now these power supply connectors, the main one is 24 and the secondary is 8-pin, but both are important, and it gives power to the CPU. Through the motherboard, the CPU gets the power and it works. Okay, so let us move forward. RAM slots. A memory slot, memory socket or RAM slot allows RAM computer memory to be inserted into the computer. Most motherboards have 2 to 4 memory slots, which determine the type of RAM used with the computer. Now, what do you mean by RAM slots? The RAM slot or memory socket allows RAM computer memory to be inserted into the computer. Means these are basically the RAM slots, means where do we insert RAM, where RAM can be inserted. Simply that is RAM slots. Let us move forward. CMOS battery. The memory battery aka motherboard CMOS real-time clock RTC clock battery is generally a CR203 lithium coin cell. The cell battery has an estimated life of 3 years when power supply unit PSU is unplugged or when the PSU power switch is turned off. PSU full form is power supply unit. So now this is very interesting that in our laptops we 24/7 don't have to plug the charger. You will ask why? Because in the laptop we have the battery. We have battery, CMOS battery it's called. We have it in the laptop. Therefore, we don't have to charge it 24/7. Once the battery is charged, it is charged. After that, we don't need to charge it 24/7. That is known as the CMOS battery. And the full form of PSU is power supply unit. Understand? Backplate connector is the portion of the motherboard that allows you to connect external devices such as your monitor, speakers, keyboard and mouse. A backplate connector, it allows you to connect your external devices such as your monitor, speakers, keyboard and mouse. I would not say that you connect your speakers because it is at the it is at the back of the motherboard, back of the CPU. The box of the CPU is right at the back of it. So see, there are 4 slots, 4 USB slots in front and 4 USB slots in the back. So speakers you can connect in the front slots, and something like keyboard and mouse, monitor you can connect in the back, straight at the motherboard, you can say. Heat sink. A heat sink is commonly spelled heat sink, is a passive heat exchanger that transfers the heat generated by an electronic or mechanical device to a fluid medium, often air or a liquid coolant, where it is dissipated away from this device, thereby allowing a regulation of the device's temperature. Now, heat sink and cooling fan, these both are the same. Heat sink means it's a fan where all the heat of the computer's motherboard's parts, it sucks all the heat in that and throws it out of the system. So that is known as, sometimes in our computers, if you would see in laptops especially, you would see the heat coming out on your lap. You would see, if you are keeping it on your lap, you would see that heat is coming out from that. Why? Because the cooling fan is throwing all the heat out which is there in the laptop, the parts of the laptop. Okay, let us move forward. BIOS chip, short for basic input output system. The BIOS, pronounced BIOS, is a ROM chip found on motherboards that allows you to access and set up your computer system at the most basic level. I have put a picture down, if you can see. Now, it is a ROM chip found on motherboards that allows you to access and set up your computer system. Means it is a ROM chip and it helps. It's a short for basic input output system. Okay, and it helps your computer at the most basic level. It like allows you to access and set up your computer system at the most basic level. Okay, so let us move forward. Chipset. In a computer system, a chipset is a set of electronic components in an integrated circuit known as a data flow management system that manages the data flow between the processor, memory, and peripherals. It is usually found on the motherboard. See, chipset is known as a data flow management system. The data flows and it manages the data. The most important thing is that it manages the data flow between the processor, memory, and peripherals of the computer. So it's one of the most important functions in the motherboard. One of the most important functions. Let us move forward. Expansion slots. An expansion slot is a socket on the motherboard that is used to insert an expansion card or circuit board, which provides additional features to a computer system such as video, sound, advanced graphics, Ethernet, or memory. Means it is a slot where this slot provides additional features to a computer such as video, sound, advanced graphics, Ethernet, or memory. It gives more memory. Expansion slots. So it is a socket that is used to insert an expansion card, basically. Okay, let us move forward. FDD header. The floppy channel FDD header or floppy connection is where the floppy drive connects to the computer motherboard. In the picture below is an example of a motherboard with the two IDE connections and a floppy channel connector. Finally, the standard PC floppy drive connector contains 34 pin holes. So actually what is this? That I'll just show you the picture. Wait for a second. So this is the floppy disk drive connector. If you see, I'll just annotate and show you. So this whole thing actually is the floppy disk drive connector. So this is the thing. Let us head to the PPT and wait for a second. And actually what is this? So it is basically, it's a drive connector and it is an example. It is with two IDE connections and it has a floppy channel connector. Okay, so let us move forward. What is a processor? A central processing unit, also called a central processor, main processor, or just processor, is the electronic circuitry that executes instructions comprising a computer program. The CPU performs basic arithmetic, logic, controlling an input-output operation specified by the instructions in the program. Means if for example we want to do math in Excel, we go and we set a formula and we say 20 plus 5 and we put the formula and we get the answer as 25. So that is basic arithmetic. The company which sells the processor is Intel. The processor is the most important thing in the computer. So guys, thank you, and I hope you felt this video educative. If you felt this video educative, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my video. Bye guys. Thank you.